Hi there, Phil here. So today's tip is citrus trees. Now I am filming this in my front yard and there are tradespeople working next door and vehicles going by, so I apologise for any distortion to the sound, or also I might just have to snip some bits if it's becoming intrusive. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about my specific citrus in my property, which is marginal for citrus really, as it's more of a temperate zone than a subtropical one. However, I can grow them successfully. I've got, I think, 6 citrus trees. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the situation I'm growing them in, and then talk about the specifics that one should use for citrus, going through them step by step. So for example, I've got this lemon tree here. It's growing as all of my citrus trees are on a raised bed. Now it hasn't got a raised bed sides, but I have just simply lifted the soil up about 20 centimetres or 8 inches above the soil level. Citrus trees are shallow rooted with a fibrous root system over the surface, and they will not tolerate too much dampness. So by raising the beds, it means that they've always got sufficient drainage and aeration to grow well. This lemon tree is growing in an area that is actually quite windy. The wind has come down the street. However, lemon trees are a fairly vigorous and tolerant citrus tree, so therefore I do get away with it. And it is in full sun, which is suitable for it. Just through here I've got an orange tree. And the orange tree, which is in the shade currently, because we're in the middle of winter, again, it's not an ideal situation because of the degree of shade. The oranges I've got on it are in fruit shops right now. However, mine went a bit later because of the shaded situation. However, because they do have the structure, which is actually my neighbour's garage right next door, that does shelter them from the prevailing wind. And citrus is something that is very prone to wind chill, and so therefore it is better to grow them in sheltered positions. In my backyard I've got 3 more citrus trees. So I've got an orange tree, which is actually a summer fruiting one, a Valencia type, whereas this one through here is a navel one, and so that fruits through the summer. This one will fruit in spring. And I do have 2 mandarin trees that fruit through the winter. So I do actually get citrus in actually pretty much 12 months of the year. All of them are grown on raised beds. I did have one which I was grown directly at ground level or soil level. It grew well for a couple of years and then it got a root rot and it died. All of them are grown in beds that I don't actually dig. I simply spread mulch over the surface because the shallow rooting systems, which take a lot of nutrients from the surface area, and because citrus is a hungry crop, they do use a lot of nutrients. I do put mulch on the surface of all of the citrus trees. Now I'm going to go over the different aspects step by step. First of all, citrus trees will only survive light frost. If you want to grow citrus in a frost-prone area, you will quite likely have frost-free options, such as under eaves or in pots that can be moved under cover for winter. Climate change is enabling more areas to grow subtropical fruits such as citrus. They are attractive shrubs with glossy green leaves which enhance most landscape styles. They produce copious flowers in spring which are sweetly scented. They crop for a long period, especially if a range of different citrus are planted. Lemon trees, grapefruit and limes are particularly productive in a wide range of regions, especially if grown in full sun, whereas oranges and mandarins sometimes need a more favourable microclimate to produce well. In marginal areas, planting citrus on the south or north for the southern hemisphere, or west side of a fence, wall or house, improves the likelihood of success, as I've done with these 2 mandarin trees and the second orange tree that I have. While they will tolerate a certain degree of frost down to about -2 degrees centigrade or 29 degrees Fahrenheit, they are intolerant of wind chill, meaning a reasonably sheltered site is useful. The tree's eventual size, after about 15 years, can be 5 metres for a grapefruit, down to 2 to 3 metres for a mandarin on a dwarf rootstock. If they are grown in a large pot, they will be less vigorous. Citrus have a shallow fibrous root system. Their preference is for a light soil or silt loam. They do not like having grass or vigorous plants growing closely around them, as the roots outcompete the tree for moisture and plant food. They also do not like root disturbance, such as hoeing or forking the garden. If you need to fertilise them, there is specialised citrus plant food available, but a general fertiliser will also do. The fertiliser should be spread around the drip line, the outer circumference of the foliage, rather than close to the trunk. Citrus are prone to magnesium deficiency, which shows as a yellowing between the veins of older leaves. interveinal chlorosis. Epsom salts or other magnesium-rich fertilisers can prevent this. I do have a separate clip where I show several key nutrient deficiencies and their symptoms on citrus. Citrus prefer a rich fertile soil, which is a challenge in areas with light soil. They also need good drainage, especially in winter, and this can be a problem in heavier soil such as clay. The solution I recommend for both of these situations is to put about 4 wheelbarrow loads of rich topsoil on top of the existing soil before planting. The resulting raised bed will be moisture retentive and yet well aerated all year round. A thick mulch can be laid over the top of this mound, remembering to keep it away from the trunk. It is also important not to let citrus dry out too much over summer, as this can stress the plant and affect fruiting. There isn't a particular pruning regime for citrus. Branches can be trimmed to keep the plants in bounds and twigs headed back to where the fruit is set. Here I show a lemon tree in Spain which I pruned recently. In the before image you can see that the tree has grown too large and has also sent up vigorous vertical stems which won't fruit. I trimmed these off at their base. However, I did maintain the general shape of the tree, as I didn't want to stimulate the production of more vertical shoots or remove the fruiting branches of the tree. This curved line shows the actual shape of the tree. There is a tree behind it which needs to be ignored. Here I contrast the before and after shapes of the tree. You can also see this neighbouring citrus tree which has been cropped with shears over the top. This has removed potential flowers and fruit, so it isn't fruiting as well as it should. So that's it for this tip. Hope that you're inspired to grow citrus trees in your garden. They're obviously a very attractive fruit and they enhance any ornamental garden, and also you can get a tremendous amount of crop over quite a small area. So thanks very much for watching this through to the end, and just a reminder to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and also to like this video. It does help a lot. Thanks again.